Hi everyone, I'm Nick. I'm one of All In's SAT tutor, and for this time, I want to discuss about the common mistakes for the second section of the SAT, which is the writing and language section, or simply just the grammar section. Okay, so let's get started. In section 2, or grammar section, or writing and language section, I will be going over 3 common mistakes for this section. This 3 here is basically like where you guys, most of you actually make mistakes on. Okay, the first one is transition. The second one is punctuation, which is comma or semicolon or colon. Sorry, this is colon, this is semicolon, and maybe like quotes or apostrophe or dash. So those kind of signs between sentences, those are punctuations, in case some of you are not familiar with the word. And last one is concise sentences, and lots of students make this mistake because they think, oh, it's an English test, so I need to have a very long sentence. But in fact, for SAT, what you need is the shortest sentence. All right, so let's go over the first common mistake, transition. So what is transition? Number 1, yeah, number 1, just in case here, see, number 1 is transition. So what is it? Transition, as the name implies, is the change between, in this case, one sentence and another. So transition for this particular problem is how does the text do the transition between one sentence and another sentence, or the next sentence, sorry. So what do you do to answer this question? The first thing that you need to know is you need to understand one sentence and that next sentence, understand the relationship between the two sentences, and pick a word that basically aligns with the relationship between the two sentences. So let's start reading this sentence. This number 1 here, that's for this one here. Okay, and since it's in between these two sentences, then you need to understand, or you need to read those two sentences. This is sentence number 1, this will be sentence number 2. So let's read the first sentence. People often speak of the philosophy of the ancient Greeks, or what the Greeks believed, as though they had a single shared opinion. ... If you look at the answer choices, this is the underlined part is the ones that you have to change. So, however, meanwhile, or there's nothing at all, and consequently. So which one is the right word for this? So let's leave this as ... for now. And the second sentence actually starts with ancient. So ancient Greek philosophers held a great diversity of opinions, founding many schools of thought that shaped the development of culture in West and beyond. First, you need to understand what those two sentences mean. The first sentence, what is the main point? The main point of the first sentence is basically Greek people have one opinion or thought or something like that. Okay, that's the main point of the first sentence. Now, the main point of the second sentence is, here it says, ancient Greek philosophers held a great diversity of opinions. So again, here, Greek people have great diversity of opinion. Great diversity. What does it mean? It means it's more than one. Now you know the main point of the two sentences. Now let me ask you this. What is the relationship between sentence 1 and sentence 2? Just to remind you again, sentence 1 says one opinion, sentence 2 says more than one opinion. What does that tell you about the relationship between the two sentences? They are different, right? Because they are different, then the transition or the transition word that you need to use or pick should be something that means different. Like the meaning is different. So between however, which is A, meanwhile, B, or there's nothing at all, C, and D, consequently, which one means different? So before I tell you the answer, let's go over each of the options and what each of those words mean. However, when do you usually use however? You usually use however when you say, I'm doing A, but I'm doing the opposite the next day. So however is equal to but. So that means, however equal to but, that means that it means different. Right? And like I said, the relationship between 1 and 2, sentence 1 and 2, is that they're different. They have different statement. So this might be the potential answer for number 1. But like I said in the previous section, always read the whole options. Always read each and every single one of the options before you pick your answer. So let's do that. B, meanwhile. What does it mean? Meanwhile means I'm doing this while I'm doing that. So basically, it's like you're doing two things at once. It does not mean different. So because it doesn't mean different, then that cannot be the answer. What about C? C makes sense, but they're asking you for transition, right? So probably it's highly likely that you should pick the answer that has a transition word instead of the option that has no transition word at all. So I would be vigilant about this, but let's say for now it's not the right answer. And then D, consequently. Consequently means as a result. So when you read the main idea again of the first two sentences, what do you see? Does having one opinion become as a result of this more than one opinion? No, right? So the word here, consequently, does not fit or does not align with the relationship between sentences 1 and 2. And D cannot be the answer. Now, by process of elimination, we can safely confirm that the answer for number 1 is A, however. Okay? Now, that is for the first common mistake.